What's a good word, everyone? I'm Kenny Varner, the owner of SportsBooks.com. Welcome to our show, and you got it right. Title is exactly right. How to win a 6-1 games, and this is actually for more people that are more of a volume better. And there's videos on this site about volume betting and all that fun stuff. And there's no right or wrong. Don't let people tell you. But anyway, for people who bet a little more, who are like medium to a big volume better, I think this will work really well. You can put a full unit on all 6 plays or a half a unit, whatever your risk tolerance is. And again, we'll have videos on it. We have videos on risk tolerance on this channel also. So the 6-1 system, I am in the belief, there's no doubt in my mind that it is easier when you're a confident handicapper and you believe in your abilities. It is still a lot easier to find one game that you can pick apart and win 6 different ways than it is to take 6 games and even go 4-2. You're taking 6 games, whether it's over, under, or just a flat bet, going 4-2, not as sustainable as many might think, trying to win 66%. So when you bet 6 games in one day, the chances of 4-2 are not great. At least not at the -1 to -120. Now, all these bets are going to be at a normal -110 type level. And you can make them go up a little bit, but we'll get that as we go. So what's the 6-1? Now, you can do this with overs, or you can do this with unders. For me personally, I like over betting better. I like overs, and I'm better at trying to find an over, especially with this system. It's not a system, but with this type of betting, I think there's more probability, more chances to do this with over than with under. And I think you can go at least, at worst, 4-2, and that's even if you handicap this half right. So let's see what we're talking about here. So it's about having the total. So the 6 bets are the whole game going over, team total over again, for both teams. The first 5 over, and I got this little cheat sheet because it's like there's so much into this that I want to pack into this that I don't want to forget anything. The runs, hits, or errors, and will there be a run scored in the first inning? So what puts this all together? Okay, I want to first tell you what's overrated. When they say, when you get the hitter versus batter, oh, this guy is 8 for 22 against them. I believe, unless it's the 3, 4, 5 hitters who own the pitcher, that it's not really that relevant. And you could go, when it's like the Dodgers or Yankees, it could be the 2 to 7 hitters. But with normal teams, unless I might look at the 3, 4, 5 hitters. But really, I'm looking how good the pitcher is. And when I get 2 very suspect pitchers that can't go more than 5 innings, and they seem to let up a run, they're like Blake Snell of last year, but not so lucky. They can go 5 innings, 5 walks, and 7 hits, but they let up 3 runs. You look and see these pitchers going against each other, and they both match up, and they go against each other, and 17 games in a row or 5 starts in a row, they've let up 3 runs, or they've let up 7, 8 hits, and they're only going 5 innings. Now you match that up with bad bullpens, and then you just got a firestorm because you're expecting to get 4 innings, at least 3 innings from the bad bullpen, and at least the 7th and 8th inning, but usually 3 to 4 innings, even if it's an 8.5 inning game where the home team wins, it doesn't have to bat. I still like this over system because you're expecting a bunch of runs. You get a total of 8.5 or 9 because the teams that are playing aren't the best hitting teams. I've said this in the 5-inning video, and I'm gonna say I'm not, and I said it in the other videos. When with Major League Baseball, it's not as popular as other sports like football that we have on this site. But with baseball, if you could pick one thing and just dominate that, you don't have to do 5 innings and full games and overs and under. You don't have. If you could focus on one thing with this type of deal, you can make some money while not putting yourself at much risk. When you're confident as a handicapper, when you know how to read the stats, when you know how to break things down, we're going to bring you information and courses all over the place here at sportshatballs.com. As I'm doing this video, we're just going to, we want to bring multiple videos here every single day. So let's get back to the 6-1. Okay. You're looking at 2 pitchers that are bad. You're looking at 2 teams that are hitting. Now, you always get pushback of, oh, that's hard to find. Yes, it is. But when you do, you find the holy grail of going 6-0 in one game. And if you handicapped it right, and you really handicapped it right, you can turn the game off in the 5th inning. Everything will be over. Everything will be over. Now, the one caveat I have of saying 6-1 is I'm always leery of that first inning. But that's another thing. You can go as far as you want with this. You can take off the runs, hits, errors. You can take it just both team totals and the game going over and feeling confident. But I suggest with those 3, the runs, hits, and errors, and the first 5 over are like, you got to go with at least 5. But check out to see if either pitcher ever, like, if they're bad pitchers, but they always get through the first inning, which is rare. That's why this is a 6-1 deal. You get the over for the whole game, which you can get in the 5th inning, and then everything just goes into place. When you handicap this right, even if one pitcher does well, when you handicap it right, that one pitcher doing well is pitching 6 innings, letting up a run or 2. And the chances of both are extremely low since they both have over 5 ERAs, or they are letting up 2 hits per inning. I mean, you have to do your homework on it, but I suggest you can go through every game or look for pitchers, chart pitchers. Oh, chart, there's so much work. Well, do you want to win or not? So, look for pitchers, go, okay, wait. And you could have like a list of pitchers. Now, what you want to make sure is you have a bad bullpen. And if you pile on top of that a bad bullpen that has pitched 3+ innings for 2 weeks in a row, you got the holy grail in the bag. Where 4-2 is about as bad as you can do. In the 4-2, it's like you're doing it in one game. You have a much better chance of going 4-2 in this 6-1 strategy. I never like to call things systems because systems means you can do it forever. This is where you have to actually find it. When you want to work to win, then this is be a great, perfect setup for you. So the 6-1, what are they again? The whole game goes over. Both team totals go over. So now you're up to 3. The runs, hits, and errors go over. Well, chances are, you throw in a bad defensive team and you might get an error out of the deal. But you won't need the error most of the time. That's just a bonus. and then that first run, a run in the first inning, team's getting off the bad start. Check how many times each starter has let up a run in the first inning. Chart how many times, or check and see how many times in their games, and going to MLB.com is so easy to follow. You can see exactly how many times in their games that a run was scored in the first inning. And I truly believe we have a video about psychology, but there's a mental part of the game. We talked about in a previous video about DeGrom, how the Mets never scored any runs. It goes the opposite. They know their pitcher's going to let up 4 runs. Their pitcher's going to let up 5 runs. We have to try to get off to a big start. So it's a mentality of getting off to a good start because they're going to have to score a lot of runs that night. So you have the holy grail of a 6-0 night with 1 game, or 4-2. If it goes bad, you still go 4-2. Now, this is one you either go for or you don't. If you want to do, if you want to do streak betting, if you want to do this, if you want to do a different way, this is definitely one where you don't want to be like 17 different ways to bet baseball. And we'll have a bunch of ways you can bet baseball on this site. But if you pick this, you really need to be confident and really pick the game apart and make it the right game. Because and then you can all but guarantee a 4-2. If it goes totally wrong, you go 4-2. And you can never say that when you have 6 separate games where anything can happen in that particular game, an injury or whatever, when you have just one game to concentrate on for this. And it could happen twice in one day. Who knows? Have 12 bets. When you're a volume better, that's not going to deter you because you found situations. Because there's 16 games a day, 10, 12 games a day at least. You can see. Now, I'm not saying it happens every day. I'm saying that if you actually look for it, it'll come up more often than you think. Look at games that went 6-0 doing that. Look at last night. Look at tomorrow night. See how it all plays out. So there's your 6-1 strategy with Major League Baseball. Come join us at sportsheadballs.com. We add information daily, and come join us and let's make money.